Some fails, but mostly some wins in our news today, right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. Thanks for watching, my name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. My oh my, a lot to tell today, especially about the next Assetto Corsa, a failing Simracingexpo, or flailing if you want to see it that way, and yet another Automobilista 2 update with a very interesting new content. Here we go! As every year, we'll get a new F1 Simcade this year too, of course. EA didn't get their hands on this yet it seems, so while the changes are not big, they made kind of sense. Two things we are especially looking forward to are the inclusion of Portimao, as it's a track we've always loved, and the so-called two-player career, which is as it sounds. You and another driver will either work together in a career or against each other, a special kind of multiplayer if you like. While we don't care that much about this next one, they are also adding what they call real season start, which lets you take over from whatever status the season is at that point and race the remaining tracks from then on. Oh yeah, and Breaking Point, which seems like a story mode where you start in F2 and then race your way up to F1, another one that leaves us rather cold. Amongst the things they have kept from the former iterations of the game are the My Team special career, two-player split screen, being able to run reduced seasons with only a part of the tracks, and F2. Oh yeah, and the pit coins, which until now we haven't even spent once because why bother? The new tracks, Portimao, Jeddah and Imola, will not be in F1 2021 from the start, by the way, as seemingly Codemasters did not get enough advanced information to finish the tracks in time for the release of the game. They will be added in a free update at some point after the release. It's interesting how they have reduced the number of special editions down to one. The Digital Deluxe Edition. Seems the special editions don't sell as well. Or they prefer to publish the content they normally have in special editions as DLCs? We'll have to see what they do after release. Where EA comes through is in the price in international markets. The F1 games have never been really cheap, unless you wait a while and buy them for 70% and lower half a year later or so, but the price in other countries like for example Argentina or Turkey was always adjusted to the local economy and especially buying power. This is not happening with this version, which will have the same steep price everywhere, resulting in a 400 to 500% price increase in those countries. Way to go EA! F1 2021 will be available for PS5, Xbox Series XS, PS4, Xbox One or PC from the 16th July on, even 3 whole days sooner if you pre-order. In a very surprising move, considering sim racing is getting bigger and bigger every day, this year's Simracingexpo will be reduced to 1/3 of what it was 2 years ago, and you will have to pay to get in. Yep, you have to pay to watch the marketing of as yet unnamed companies. The day pass costs €1, the price for the weekend ticket is €12 until August 15. From August 16, the weekend ticket will cost €15. And as we said, the expo is planned in 5 months' time and they still cannot tell who will be showing their products? Well, provided it's allowed to go on at all, as the vaccination levels in Germany are not exactly stellar and a hard lockdown is in the news every other day. For us, this means a further downfall of the expo. The Simracingexpo 2019 already was less interesting than the 2018 version. The organizers were not able to even set up a virtual Simracingexpo in 2020, and now this. Oh yeah, in case you are nevertheless interested, the Simracingexpo is planned for the weekend of September 17th to 19th at the Nürburgring. It's time somebody sets up an event for sim racers that makes this great hobby and the golden times we're living justice. Any takers? Will you look at that? The financial report of Digital Bros, owners of Kunos, the makers of, amongst others, Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione, talk about the second version of Assetto Corsa being released in 2024. With a little knowledge of software production cycles, this means AC2, or whatever they call it, is already in planning phase. Although Assetto Corsa doesn't need any further enhancements, other than some brushing over of the physics, getting the CSP and Soul programmers to work on assorted enhancements like the introduction of a 24-hour cycle and different weather conditions, driver swaps and a good broadcast system. Oh, wait. Marco Masaruto, executive manager of Kuno Simulazioni, recently confirmed in an interview that they were starting work on their next racing sim, hinted that it would share the quote-unquote DNA of Assetto Corsa, and went on to explain it would have its own engine, which doesn't sound like it's going to be done on the Unreal Engine, but doesn't sound like it's going to be using updated code from Assetto Corsa either. Also, they talk about their revenue streams, mentioning Assetto Corsa specifically, by which they mean Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione, and interestingly enough, one of our favorite shooters, Payday 2. According to our sources, Assetto Corsa Competizione and Assetto Corsa made 9 million euro in 2020, more than 10% of the total revenue and third most grossing of the games they publish. Assetto Corsa is not going to go away anytime soon, it seems. Isn't that great? Golden times indeed. While not the last of these rally games by Nakon called WRC, it's still one of the last, as Codemasters grabbed the license last year. There still will be a WRC 11 by Nakon as far as they have told us. WRC 10 will not only be this year's official WRC game, it will also go down memory lane, as it will, quote, celebrate 50 years of WRC, end quote, by letting you drive 19 events which, in their opinion, quote, shape the history of the WRC, end quote. As examples, they mention the Acropolis Rally and Rally Sanremo, which you will be able to drive with the respective cars of the era. Coming back to modern times, the following rallies have been added to the roster of WRC 10: Croatia, Estonia, Belgium and Spain. And it won't be only the crowning series you will be able to drive, but you can sit in the whole gamut of series the WRC has to offer: WRC, WRC2, WRC3 and Junior WRC. Oh, and in career mode you will be able to build your own teams as well as design your own liveries. We think Nakon is preparing a goodbye to the WR series with a very loud bang, which you should be able to hear on September on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS and PC. A Nintendo Switch version is also planned, but will come out at a later date. As we already suspected, considering the actual tournament is nothing special compared to the ones they delivered before, the developers of Wreckfest will extend the already running tournament session until the 4th of May, as they are extremely busy working on Wreckfest to run well on PS5s, and maybe an upcoming DLC. While this would have us moaning and crying in a lesser game, we gotta say that Wreckfest delivers such consistent entertainment with or without new tournaments that will let it pass. These ones only, of course. One of the most bonkers idea in the realm of motorsports and Formula 1 was implemented in the Brabham BT46B, and there have been more than enough bonkers ideas, so being in the top 5 is not easy. Looks like a normal F1 car of the time, doesn't it? Now look again. The rear fan made this car a downforce monster by sucking the air from underneath the car. While it only raced once, it's one of the most iconic cars in Formula 1 history, if by iconic you mean what in the world is that? This is of course not the only change this new update brings, but certainly the biggest head-turner, at least for petrol heads like us. As it seems, Reza has changed their schedule so that they now provide 2 updates per month, and we're not protesting, nothing further away from our minds. This week's update brought also the following changes. In the graphics department, if there are enough liveries for the AI to use, the one you are using will not be taken by any of the AI cars. Also, the custom event session selection has been changed, as well as a myriad of smaller changes and bug fixes. In the physics department, the tinkering continues as was to be expected, with differential adjustments, ride height corrections, aero changes, and again a myriad of smaller changes to get the physics just right. If you thought the tracks would not see corrections, you are of course wrong. It's Reza we're talking about, you know. Now, the crowd appearing at races follows a logic that depends on which session you are running, practice, quali or race, as well as the season the race is taking place on. No, really, they check the date of the race. Londrina, Goiânia, Interlagos, Hockenheim Historic and Imola 1988 have seen some cleanup so that the performance on your computer is better when racing on them. Oulton Park, Goiânia, Velocità and Velopark got VR cams. The chances of fog have been reduced when using random weather, and again lots of small tweaks and corrections. With regards to cars, the open wheelers F Classic, F Reza, F Ultimate 2019 and the F3 309 got camber values added to the suspension animation, some liveries for stock car 2021 were updated, and F Retros, F Classics and the FV12 got a first pass on making the pilots' uniforms, including helmets, more in line to their respective periods. And yes, again, we're leaving many small fixes unreported. As always, you will find the link to their post in the description. Oh, and you can disable refueling in series that don't allow it. Reza, they really don't stop, do they? And neither do we, as you can see in our many other videos, so check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.